Louisville, a city connected by our neighborhoods, by our history, our shared goals, and our unique differences. Whether by choice or by destiny, we move forward as one, connected. Now, as we continue to grow as one community, work is underway to connect us, literally, with a 100-mile-long Louisville Loop, a path that will encircle our city and offer ample opportunities for us to connect. The concept of neighborhood is a powerful one, but just as it implies inclusiveness, it also suggests a series of separate communities.
One of the pushes behind it was a monument to merger, and this is one of the ideas that really came out, even though the idea of the loop predated that. This was what a great way to unite the community, the city and the, and the county and the, different neighborhoods, to have a single trail that sort of went around the community so lots of people can get on and easily get to other neighborhoods and other parts of the community and see maybe areas that they had not been familiar with in a very informal and fun way.
We started looking at how do we connect these parks, how do we get people from one neighborhood to another neighborhood, how do we protect our natural resources, our riverbeds, our trees, our streams, and how do we better connect to businesses and give people a way to travel around the community other than by car. And the Loop had an answer for every one of those.
The Louisville Loop is designed to help us break through those barriers, to venture outside of our familiar zones and explore our larger community, to help us create a healthier, greener community. It will link new and existing parks, neighborhoods, and civic attractions to each other, encouraging active modes of transportation such as bicycling, public transit, jogging, walking, and perhaps even a little bit of moseying along. The Loop is designed to provide active transportation options, connect our community in new ways, expose us to natural beauty that surrounds us, enrich our lives through exposure to public works of art, celebrate our city's history, encourage economic development, and in the simplest, most natural way, improve our health and fitness. So follow along as we travel the Louisville Loop.
Great American cities have great parks, and they're not an accident. Louisville knew that in the 1890s when Olmsted came in and built the Olmsted series of parks that defined our city for 100 years. About 1930, we stopped doing that as a city, and development got ahead of the park system. So what we're trying to do simply is relearn what Olmsted did. And the only way you do that is to get ahead of development and set aside your most special resources and areas that can then connect neighborhoods in the future. And that's really the impetus behind our whole project. We look around the nation, you see some of the greatest American cities with phenomenal park systems. And the thing that defines all of those communities is the parks were there first, and then the city grew around them. And you know you've done it right when the houses face the park. And that's where you start having a park that's defining a city and defining a lifestyle.
The Loop travels along the Ohio River corridor, which comprises an astounding 2,600 acres of parks, trails, and public land. We'll begin our journey in Waterfront Park, our city's welcome mat, and continue along the Riverwalk, reaching all the way to Portland Wharf Park. From historic Portland, we travel through the West End's Frederick Law Olmsted Jewels, Shawnee, and Chickasaw Park. Next stop on our journey, Olmsted's Southwestern Parkway, with its parade of stately homes, a stunning glimpse into Louisville's past. One of the greatest features of the Loop is its diversity. From shaded, tree-lined vistas, we advance safely through a bustling industrial area, a thriving slice of Louisville we may never have had cause to visit before. From here, we'll connect to the Levee Trail and Mill Creek Bridge, leading us to Riverside and the historic Farnsley Norman Landing.
There's a lot of people that are very, very excited about it, especially in our area, obviously. It will bring the community together, and it gives everybody, no matter where you are, north, south, east, and west, something that everybody can be proud of.
I think it's going to be a huge source of pride for this community. It's providing a way to talk about how we shape the land and how we use the land in a way that we've never talked. We've never had that kind of conversation in this community to really talk about how we want our land to be used.
Now, let's look at some coming attractions. Imagine entering the levee trail, where the loop continues, connecting us to neighborhoods and parks, offering natural, untouched areas and recreational opportunities like horseback riding. Leave the familiar behind and allow yourself to become totally immersed in Waverly Park, Iroquois Park, Sun Valley, Riverview. And we're still not done. The Louisville Loop will take you through the shale and sandstone knobs in the Pond Creek watershed in the Fairdale-Auburn area, and to one of our City of Parks' crown jewels, the Jefferson Memorial Forest.
The loop through the forest is just going to be a real treasure. It's unlike any topography in Louisville. This particular area in southwest Louisville that's got Iroquois Park, Waverly Park, but with the loop coming through the forest, you're going to be able to get up on top of these ridges that really have a great vista over southwest Louisville and places, the Ohio River if you get on the farther western end. So you're looking out over the plains below. It's just a fantastic view. The tree canopy there is what you're not going to find in certain other parts of the loop that are maybe in more of the urban areas. So it's going to be a secluded sense, but also kind of a majestic sense as you're on top of those ridges. It's going to be fantastic.
The foresight of our community leaders over decades has protected over 6,000 acres of prime Louisville metro real estate. You'll enjoy faraway vistas, experience truly natural beauty, learn about the environment, or simply and quietly experience its beauty. Come on, we've made it this far. Moving on, as we travel the loop, we connect to nearly 4,000 acres of public park and privately conserved land surrounding Floyd's Fork, known as the Parklands. Emerging from the Parklands and Floyd's Fork area and fueled by enthusiasm and curiosity, we're wide open to exploring the Northeast Loop Trail. The Northeast Loop segment will travel for approximately 18 miles from Beckley Creek at Miles Park on Shelbyville Road to River Road, allowing you to enjoy the uniqueness of the underlying limestone geology and the landscapes of the river corridor.
We're fortunate in our lifetime to be able to see something like this and to actually see it being built. You can see the walls being built, the bridges being built, the spray parks being constructed and opened up. We'll be able to talk to our grandchildren about that, about I remember when that wasn't available. You're so lucky to be here in a time when there are people that a generation or two before you had the foresight to think about what could this community be if we embraced the urban edge and expanded our horizons.
I think the neat thing about this project is this is happening. We've all seen the plans that sit on a shelf or go to the meetings and we talk deep ideas. Nothing ever happens. This is happening. The Parklands is done in 2015. It's fully funded and we're operational. The Loop is plowing its way across the city right now. And it is so cool to be in a city that's making this stuff happen now. I mean, we are living kind of in the age of Olmsted from the 1890s. And I hope folks appreciate what a special time this is, because our grandchildren are going to look back and honestly say, wow, you guys were pretty cool to pull this stuff off.
The Northeast River Road stretch of the Loop leads us to Cox's Park, Thurman Hutchins Park, and ultimately back home to our beautiful waterfront. Focusing on the big picture, Louisville's treasured Olmsted Parkway system will be improved to connect people throughout Louisville to the Loop system. Accessibility is the key. The goal? Making it easy for everyone to use active transportation, public transit, or good old-fashioned human energy to connect to the Loop at any point from any neighborhood.
One of the things that I love to do is take people out on the Loop because they see the city in a different way. If they've grown up and lived and worked in the East End and you're showing them the South and the Southwest and the West, they're blown away. They have no idea there's so much beauty and variety in the city. And the Loop shows people that.
It's important to think big and to have faith that a big project can move forward. If the right people are involved in it and if enough people get excited about it.
And I see the Louisville Loop as kind of that last piece of infrastructure for our city. It's out on our urban edge. It's unusual to have that much parkway and pathway on our urban edge, so you put the Loop out there with 21st century parks. People, I think, 50 years, 100, 200 years from now will be looking back at 2010 to 2015 and say, what were those people thinking about? And look how it's benefited us here in years to come. So it's important. I know we've got to take care of the day-to-day needs of the city, but at the same time, we've got to be looking decades and decades out into the future, and the Loop is a critical part of that.
There is still much work to be done, and we need you to be part of it. Ride or walk the trail, become a Loop Trail Watch member, or help us grow the Louisville Loop Friends Network. Watch for community events that you can attend via the Loop. Be active, be healthy, connect to the Louisville Loop. The Louisville Loop, connecting people to a greener, healthier Louisville.